The challenge remains a major gap to fund these national development priorities. To help fill the financing gap, Malawi Agricultural and Industrial Investment Corporation, also known as Maiic, stands as one of the key players to enable economic development and social impact in the country. In November 2018, the government, together with the private sector, established an autonomous, sustainable and private sector-led development finance entity in line with the Malawi Growth and Development Strategy (MGDS3). Maiic is the leading enabler of high-impact economic development in the country, with financing operations in various sectors, including tourism, agribusiness, ICT, agro-processing, energy, manufacturing, among others. The institution's managing director, Taz Chaponda, says they are ready to enhance private sector development.
There are really two audiences that we speak to. On the one hand, the big institutions out there, such as pension fund and big financial institutions, we are reaching out to them to say they can place their funds with Maiic. They can invest in Maiic so that we, in turn, can identify commercially viable projects. They can earn a financial return, but also they can have a real social and development impact on the ground. That is one audience. Then for the businesses, the entrepreneurs that are looking to grow their businesses, our message to them is very simple. We're open for business. We're here to support you as long as you're willing to work hard on your business plan and on attracting your market. But we're here to support you and we're open for business.
Maiic's Chief Enterprise Development Officer, Foster Sikwese, says the institution has the capacity to handle any application which meets all conditions.
Even a big transaction which comes through our way, we will assess it and see if the merits for the business make sense and look at who of our partners would be interested in that transaction. We work with a lot of foreign partners. We work with TDB and we work with DBSA. So we can bring them in as and when needed for big transformational projects. For the other transactions, as we have said, we partner with a lot of other companies and investors or institutional investors whom we have developed relationships with. We are currently working with the local banks in the market to see how we can syndicate transactions. So with that, we are not restricted by the size, the amount, the sector, but we just want to make sure the transaction makes sense, looks at a business case that adds value, the impact that it has as a development financial institution. We're not just about making money and looking at businesses that make money, but we are also about social impact. Are we creating jobs? What impact are we having on the local farmers, on the local businessmen, and the impact that it has follow on from the major investment that we make?
Several high-impact projects are being implemented. One of such projects is the construction of a seed processing facility by Seeds Company, also known as Museko. With about 380 million kwacha loan from Maiic and another 380 million kwacha from Africa Enterprise Challenge Fund, the company sees improvement in processing and selling of seeds. The Chief Executive Officer of Museko, Dr. Ibrahim Benes, says the completion of the 760 million kwacha project will lead to improvement in their business.
This project is supporting us in accessing seed processing machines. In terms of storage, we are using rental warehouses, which is very costly, and they are scattered all over. So it is also expensive. Apart from paying rentals, shifting those the seed from one warehouse to the other for packaging and processing is quite costly. And also the offices are rented, so this project is supporting us to build our own office, then we will be quite established in our operations.
Sanama Cassava Women's Cooperative of Machinga is another beneficiary of Maiic loans. This is one of the cooperatives under the Agricultural Commercialization Project, AGCOM. To fulfill some conditions of getting support from AGCOM, the cooperative got a loan of 17 million kwacha from Maiic. Loveness Anderson is its chairperson.
Kuzera kwa AGCOM tinapeza thandizo la ngongole ku Maiic. Komano kuti tipeze thandizo limeneli ndi nkhani ya programu ya AGCOM imene inatipangitsa kuti ife tidziwane ndi Maiic. Tinganene kuti mwachidule AGCOM ndi nkhala pakati wa Maiic ndi Msanama Cassava Women Cooperative maka ku nkhani za ngongole. Zinachitika chifukwa chonena kuti project ya AGCOM ikamafuna kuti ikuthandizeni imafuna kuti mukhale ndi 30% kuti chaumwini chimene chimapangitsa kunena kuti inuyo mukamagwira ntchito kapena akakupasani thandizo lawo muligwiritse ntchito bwinobwino. Nde thandizo limene lili kuti lipezeke limafunika 30%. Ifeyo ngati azimayi Msanama Cassava Cooperative titachimva chinthu chimenechi tinachiona kuti ndi chinthu chabwino ndithu. Nde tinangati uthamanga kufika apo ndi apo ku mabanki kuti tipeze chani mwayi wa ngongole mmene. Komano kuzera ku AGCOM ataona kuti tikuthamanga kapena kuona kuti tili ndi kufunitsitsa kuti tipeze thandizo limene la ku AGCOM nde anatipezera mwayi umenewo wa ku Maiic kuti tipeze ngongole.
Maiic has also provided Lens Mill Limited with 396 million kwacha to help in the production of floating fish feed. The company's managing director, Andrew Stewart, says they noted that Malawi is heavily reliant on imported floating fish feed.
We saw that there was a gap in the market because at the moment all fish feed is being imported from Zambia and there were no current players in the country manufacturing good quality floating fish feed. So we saw that as an opportunity for us to enter into that market and be able to supply the farmers who are currently struggling to get the product from Zambia.
Chafian Zengerezo, a fish farmer from Mitundu in Lilongwe, says production of local feed will help him a lot.
Inetu chembekezo changa ndiliwokondo kwambiri chifukwa zinthu izi tidalimenezo tsogolo kwenikweni chifukwa chakuti chakudya cha nsomba sichimapezeka moyenerera koma apapa chembekezo chathu chakudya cha nsomba chikhala chili chambiri kuno kwathu tizigula mosavuta chifukwa chakuti kampani yopanga chakudya cha nsomba ili kuno ku Malawi.
Apart from agriculture and agro-processing, Maiic focuses on other sectors such as manufacturing, tourism, mining, energy and information communication technology (ICT). LGV Academy, based in Lilongwe's Area 3, has managed to get a loan of 300 million kwacha to help in the construction of a high school that will promote ICT. The Academy's director, Rosas Jalangombe, says they will target the middle class, which he says is currently deprived of access to high-quality education at affordable fees.
The world is changing now, so almost everything. You talk of agriculture, you talk of what, everything it needs ICT, because this is now, we're going towards to new technology, whereby on the early childhood they need to know much about computer stuff. In future, even anything, you know, our country now as we go, it will need to go into industrialization, whereby we need factories, this and that. All those things, they'll need digital ICT, yeah. So we've thought ICT will help a lot in developing this country. We want this school to target the middle class. You know, in our country, the middle class is growing. Now, that middle class doesn't have like a lot of good schools. Most of the schools are too expensive, whereby ordinary Malawians can't manage. So we are coming to bridge that gap, whereby at least we should accommodate that middle class. So you can see, once the middle class is paying less, that means there's also enough money to save. At the same time, that means our school will accommodate more kids. That's why you see our classes are more. It's going upstairs, no? Just to make sure we accommodate more people. So once you accommodate more people, we employ more teachers. So definitely employment numbers will be there. That means payees, government will get a lot.
Maiic delivers its products and services in collaboration with the existing financial institutions, namely banks, microfinance institutions, and other development finance institutions. COMSIF, a subsidiary of COMSIP, is one of the beneficiary institutions. With a loan of 257 million kwacha from Maiic, over 150 groups have benefited from the funds. COMSIP members have been able to get loans under soft conditions. One such group is Longo-based Mziru Group. The members have been able to get loans totaling 1.4 million kwacha, according to its chairperson Ethel Ali.
Gulu lathu ndi gulu lolimbikira kwambiri ndipo tikatenga ngongole timabweza mwachilungamo. Komanso ngongoleyo tikatenga imatithandiza mabanja mwathu. Ena ndazimayi oti alibe mabanja, azibambo anapita kuli chete, ena afe tili ndazibambo koma sali pa ntchito. Ndalama imene tikatenga imatithandizira ana school fees, kudya pakhomo, china chilichonse timaona kuti chimatifewera pa ndalama imene timatenga ku Comsif ngongole imene.
Comsif Cooperatives Commercialization Manager Kelvin Msisha says Maiic has helped the institution a lot, and they look forward to continue working with Maiic.
When we saw that the capacity of Comsif was not enough to reach out to all the members of Comsif, we looked for partners, and we identified Maiic so that we could extend our financial resources to reach out to these members. We so far have secured 257 million kwacha from Maiic, and we are hoping for more.
Maiic's managing director Tas Chaponda has since appealed to all prospective clients to contact them through all available channels to find out how they can be assisted.
As a development finance institution, DFI for short, we try to make the terms a little more accommodative to give a cushion to those smaller businesses in particular. We do that in three ways. Number one is we're able to come in and provide some technical assistance or support to ensure that the business plan and the positioning of that business is done in such a way to increase the chances of success of the business. So that's technical assistance. Number two, in our pricing of the loan or the credit facility, we have fairly, I would say, affordable pricing in line with the risk of that business. So the pricing is quite favorable. And then the last one would be the repayment periods. Unlike some of the commercial banks where repayment periods are much shorter, where they might be looking for loan repayment in maybe 12 to 24 months, with Maiic, we're able to stretch that period out to say 3, 4, 5 years with a grace period, which might be 3 to 6 months grace period up front to allow the business owner to organize themselves, to order their equipment, and then after that grace period, they start the repayment.
3 pillars of Malawi Long-Term Development Plan, Malawi 2063, are agriculture productivity and commercialization, industrialization and urbanization. From the high-impact projects Maiic is funding, it can already be seen that the institution is here to help drive private sector-led economic development through the mobilization of finance, skills, technology for sustainable wealth creation.